All right, everybody, welcome to episode whatever of the Back on Tangent podcast. Today, with me, as always, is a very special guest. Somebody I've been wanting to get on the pod for quite a while now. He's known worldwide as the award-pending voice actor, Kyle J. Jenkins. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Pending is a lot of emphasis on the word pending.
A big emphasis, I should say.
Yeah.
We have not won anything ever.
No.
One time I was in the spelling bee and I got like 32nd place.
I once won the Easter Bunny making challenge in infant school.
We're really living off the past highlights of our life.
Yeah, I've been coasting off the glory and the adrenaline of that for the last 2 decades.
Oh, and of course, everybody, my name is Blake, and yeah, so today we're talking about Black Widow, the 20th somethingth film from Marvel Studios, the newest one out, actually.
Yep.
And
first one
this
in
was
a long
delayed.
time.
Yeah, it got delayed over a year, I think, at this point from last year because of the pandemic.
The
Oh,
what?
wait, sorry, don't mention the pandemic. Yes, Kyle, there's been a pandemic for a while.
Well,
Sorry, because of unknown reasons, it was delayed over a year.
bugger me sideways. The first time hearing of it.
But yeah, let's talk about it. So this is, of course, the solo, not origin film, just solo film of Black Widow, the MCU character that we all know and perhaps enjoy in some movies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's starring Scarlett Johansson and a whole bunch of other people that are a lot better than she is in this movie. And
Yep.
just going in on her immediately. That's how I do it. And Kyle, what were your expectations going into this movie? Were you excited? Were you what?
Well, you know in Futurama how Hermes can really get under that limbo bar to an inhuman degree. He's like ridiculously good at the limbo, and they put it way lower than a human being should ever be able to go, and he gets underneath it anyway. So that's how low the bar was. And no, it wasn't quite that bad. I knew it would at least be as good as as other Marvel projects like Thor: The Dark World and Iron Man 2 and Ant-Man or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought, which is to say, not completely passable in terms of blockbusters on the whole, but not meeting the full expectations of the high hopes I have for every MCU movie.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's about where I was at for this movie.
That's just because of, one, it's a very small scale story about a character that's already, dead, and one that really never got that much development in the first place, and in all these years, and I don't know, all the other characters they did this with got a show, so it was 6 to 8 hours of mostly solid character development and really made to a high standard and stuff like that. So I was and it was relentlessly marketed too because of how many times it was pushed back and whether they were going to release it on streaming or not, just dump it on there for free or whatever. So that the bar was quite low. As a result of that, it really cleared it and went above and beyond my expectations.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it because Kyle, I hated this movie. I thought this was a bunch of just a bunch of feminist nonsense the entire time.
Oh,
I know Marvel has a liberal agenda, but this movie really pushed that on me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of having a female director and a female main character is fine with me, but it's the fact that they're women that bothers me.
Yeah, I've heard you say that.
Yeah, I don't I don't mind when females do things, but when they happen to be female while doing it, I can't live that kind of life. I'm not about that. I'm not about women doing anything ever.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's just a lot of cucking in this movie that I'm not a fan of. So many male characters get cucked the entire time, and it's pretty emasculating for me, a man with a fragile ego, having to watch other men with fragile egos getting cucked.
Yeah. That holds up to what I know of your character. That you're always going on about your favorite movie, Fight Club.
Yeah, my favorite movie, Fight Club and Joker.
And Joker. Who could forget Joker? I mean,
yeah, it's such an endearing film about such a redeemable character. Truly, we do live in a society. I hate the Star Wars sequels, but I hope I
too
keep
many
that in.
women folk for your liking.
Too many women, too many females. Not women, females, Kyle.
Oh,
they're not people.
I forget
They're
that you
females.
exclusively call them that.
No, but aside from my abhorrent sexism, I think I have a similar opinion. I think this movie was fine, but I'm definitely never watching it again.
Do you know, it's occurred to me that you really put a lot of effort into that bit to then give it a very lukewarm review anyway. And I feel like maybe it would have been better serviced or, better juxtaposed against quite a positive review. Now it just seems like you actually meant that. All that stuff about Fight Club and Joker and just being an intolerable piece of shit.
I thought the movie was fun. I had a good time with it. It was a good 2 hours of my life. I don't regret it, but I don't think I'll go back. But it was a good time.
Yeah.
Too many women. No, but we don't really have a structure for the show. We like to just go for it. And Kyle,
we just spin our wheels and go.
We just spin our wheels
like a car off a cliff. We just no traction. No, we're not slowed down by anything so gaudy as a format or a structure or quality control. So we're just gonna dive right in, aren't we?
Yeah. So Kyle, why don't you just read me your first note that you have, just whatever's off the top of your notes.
The one where I say basically what I said before, where my expectation.
Oh wait, no, not that one. The next one, I guess.
Okay. The next one was a lot of heart and character. Standouts were Florence Pugh and Red Guardian.
I like how you struggled with that name.
Red. The word red throws me.
What is that? Is that Reed?
Reed? Is it red or red? Is it red or red?
Reed Guardian? Fantastic Four confirmed John Krasinski.
Oh.
But no, I felt kind of similarly. I think I mentioned it kind of as a joke earlier, but there is some truth to it. I think the best performances in this movie are all the supporting cast, basically, especially like the Black Widow family. They're all really good in this, especially Florence Pugh. Like, she's great.
Yeah, she is my favorite in this by like a country mile.
Easily. And I think the relationship between all of them, but especially like Red Guardian and the family, is really good. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you I think my favorite bit from her is when there's this running gag where she keeps making fun of Black Widow doing a pose. I thought it was funny, especially when she first did it. And she's just like,
yeah, she does the pose towards the end of the movie. She gives in and she does a Black Widow pose, and then she kind of skulks up off the ground like kind of like just sickened by it. Like, yeah, no, this is thing, yeah, and I like that. And it kind of leads into like one of my other notes in this, where it's just like they treat women a lot better in these movies. In this movie,
oh god, yeah,
than the previous one, which is probably has a lot to do with Scarlett Johansson being like an executive producer on it, and having women involved in the production. Jack Schaefer was one of the writers on this, who was the head writer on WandaVision.
Oh, it's the same guy. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Same woman.
Oh, see. Wait, Jack?
It's Jack with a Jack J-A-C. I know you're against women, but
I know I'm against the women. Yes.
But just
I'm stupid. So, anyways, aside from my abhorrent racism or sexism, sorry, I'm not racist.
Oh, we're not even getting into that.
Oh boy, but no, it is really good in this film, and I just felt like there weren't any scenes that were just egregious. Just an ass shot of Black Widow, or them trying to be like, look at her boobs or something,
Give her that cleave, like that behind the scenes shot of. Did you see that? I forget where I've seen that, but like there was a behind the scenes of probably like Iron Man 2 or something like that,
Yeah.
And a costume person is like talking to Jon Favreau and is like, we'll do this or whatever and give her more cleave or like something, it's something to do with her cleavage. And Scarlett Johansson is just like, yep. Just.
There is, just quickly about the Florence Pugh thing though, when she does the pose at the, like towards the end of the film, and then she kind of skitters off like, ew, that was gross. Immediately after that, she like does some karate on like a security guard, and she takes him down. And then you see her like dragging him, and she's like,
yeah.
She's like, because he's this large man, and Florence Pugh is like, it's a small lady, so she's like dragging this security guard decked out in like guns and ammo and armor, and she's like,
because there's a lot of humor to this film, because it could have been like a really dry Winter Soldier-esque affair. It could have just been like straight down the line. This is a spy movie, but with super
I just
spies.
forgot that I had a joke I wanted to do for the beginning of the pod where I was like, we're talking about Captain Russia 2, the Winter Widow or something, but I forgot, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that sounds shit. No.
It's as good as anything I've ever done. So.
Exactly. No.
Oh boy.
No. Yeah, there was a lot more humor to this than I was expecting, and I'm glad of that because it really helps just kind of elevate the experience of watching it. Just because there's a lot of inherent silliness, and I feel like the minute any kind of flaws or cracks in super serious spy shit start to show, which is real easy when you've got like characters with super strength and super robot memory and all weird ridiculous action stunts and stuff like that. It's good to maybe balance that out and sort of make it fit better with a lot of humor. I know words.
No, I know. I agree with you. I think you're right. I think they took pretty good. Yeah.
No, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just. I think there's a pretty good tonal balance in this.
Yeah.
I think it does really nail a lot of like the family stuff, like the family interactions, and I think that's really the heart of this movie is all the family stuff, just them all interacting.
Yeah, and how undignified being a super spy is.
It's very undignified.
When you gotta drag a large person that you knocked unconscious over to the other side of a room. When you gotta take a painkiller after getting the shit knocked out of you by a enemy super spy or whatever.
I do love the line where she said Florence Pugh, like it's after a fight, and she's like, she says something like, "Oh, basically she says like Black Widow's not one of the big Avengers, not one of the big guys," and she's like, "What is that supposed to mean?" Yeah. And you're like, "Yeah, you tell her, Black Widow, you're a valuable member of this team." And then Florence Pugh's like,
"We appreciate you."
She's like, "Thor doesn't have to take aspirin," and I'm like, she's actually has a good point there.
Yeah.
Maybe Black Widow, she's a valuable member, but like Thor's maybe a little bit more valuable. Like, he's got a hammer. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but Thor's no good at espionage.
That's
Imagine
true.
him trying to fucking sneak in somewhere. I feel like they'd have done that on like one of the animated series or something. Like
the What Ifs.
No, not even the What Ifs. Just like as an episode of like the cartoon Avengers Assemble.
Oh yeah.
Because just in a way to teach walk a mile in someone else's shoes kind of message. Be like, Thor and Black Widow swap places.
We'll give her a hammer, tell her to go fight like a giant Norse fire dragon, and he has to sneak into like a military base while looking sexy. He has to do it while looking sexy. That's the thing.
It's no trouble for Thor.
I saw an interview, I think it was like Comic-Con, where somebody asked like, "Oh, what's it like being the sexy member of the team?" And Scarlett Johansson was clearly pissed off by this. She's like, "I don't know, ask Chris Hemsworth."
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty funny, but clearly she was annoyed by the question. But
I mean, it's a shit question,
Oh yeah, it's dumb as hell. She's not even the sexiest person. Like she said, she's not the sexiest person there.
Exactly.
That's why that question is dumb. That's why it's stupid. Yeah, and he... Well, you went through a lot of your notes, actually. I just realized I was reading some of them.
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah. I was going to say I jumped ahead, but I didn't. I just barreled through my notes.
I got some random... It's not attached to what you just said. Just some notes. Just some thoughts with this movie as well. Can I share them? Is that okay, Kyle?
That's more than okay with me. But of course,
All
they'll
right,
come
I
completely
appreciate
out of the blue for me, someone who didn't read your notes.
I thought the sad and slow Nirvana song was kind of bad at the beginning. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
I didn't notice.
Maybe it's because I'm sick of Nirvana covers, but I don't. There's so many just like action films and things that just have like a sad, slow version of like a particular pop or popular song. I'm just sick of it. I just don't like it as a gimmick.
You
But what
don't
do I know?
like change or things
Women.
staying the same.
I was stupid while watching this movie. I thought Black Widow was the younger girl at the beginning of the film. And so for the first 30 minutes, I messed up the math. Because they mentioned she's 6, and then it's 21 years later, and it's 2016, meaning she was born in like 1990-ish. But like Iron Man 2 was 2010-ish, right? So that means that she was like supposed to be 20 in that movie, and that she's 26 now. And I'm like, there's no way.
But this takes, but that was in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, and that's when I realized it doesn't add up either. Because I text my friend like, Black Widow is not 26. She's like, no, she's the older girl. I'm like, oh.
Wait, at what point did you realize that she was the older girl?
I can give you the text message. I can give you a rough timestamp as to when it happened.
Well, I mean, like in the terms of in the duration of the movie.
Oh no, that's what I'm gonna use. I know when I started watching the movie. So I'm just gonna use some quick maps. It was about 24 minutes in.
24 minutes in? That scene's over. That bit in the past is like been and gone.
I was pretty stupid. I was drinking a lot, so maybe that had something to do with it.
I did think it was the other child, but that might just be because I thought the older child was a boy. But
well, and if you notice my math here, it says Black Widow is 27, and so she was 19 in Iron Man 2. I was stupid. I thought this film took place between Infinity War and Endgame, so I thought it was 2018, actually. So I thought they were trying to say she was 19 in Iron Man 2, and that she was 27 now. I'm really
You struggle, don't you? You struggle.
Oh, boy. Something that bothered me about this movie is that Black Widow used a Windows phone at the beginning of the film, and that really bothers me. She uses a Windows. Those haven't been in circulation for like 6 years. Like, nobody uses those. Why was she using that?
Yeah, but it was a burner, wasn't it?
I guess. I guess it's good to use outdated tech. I don't know about hiding out like Black Widow, but I remember when she tossed the phone into the ocean, I thought that was good. So now she can go get a real phone.
Good. Pollute that ocean.
Yeah.
Or lake.
Good. Get it.
The beautiful, pristine waters of Norway are now sullied by Microsoft.
There's a scene in this that I don't like. This is a lot of just random thoughts, but this is kind of what I took note of.
That's what the podcast is.
There's a scene where her and Florence Pugh are talking about like the mind control serum thing, and she's like, "It's a thing that controls the receptors in your brainwave path activity." And Black was like, in English."
Oh yeah, that pissed me off. As if like they're not from the same world, and as if anyone didn't understand it. Like those scenes are always pretty egregious because of how much of a cliche it is. Because it's always something stupid like, all right, agent, you've got to put the USB into. You've got to put this drive into the USB port when you get to the console. Oh, in English, genius! Oh, we're not all tech nerds. We don't all sit at home all day and just being nerds. It's always never a smart person thing that is being asked to be translated. It's always just a really fucking dumb character or a writer/director that believes the people seeing this movie are absolutely backwards.
She hangs out with like Iron Man and Captain America. Like, you think she would be like
she can
used
hack,
to this kind of...
she can hack shit on her own. Like, she is she's fully
smart.
in that world and knows what all of that shit is and does and the terminology for it.
And then the movie thinks it's being clever because she responds in Russian, and I'm like, oh, that's your joke.
Yeah, I think maybe that joke was written backwards. They were like, wouldn't it be funny if someone said in English and someone else responded in Russian?
Oh.
So yeah, that bit was pretty fucking egregious, actually. It's down a star.
Half a star now.
Yeah.
there is a really funny joke in this that does work, where they're like, we have to go to St. Petersburg, and Florence's Pugh's character is like, we don't have enough gas for that, and he's like, Red Guard's like, we got enough, like without looking at the gauge. He's like, we got it. Like a dad.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I turned to the person I was watching this with, who shall remain nameless for the duration of the podcast. And I said, what a fucking dad thing to do. Just dadding it up, being a dad.
And then immediately, the helicopter just cuts the helicopter.
Yeah. That was great editing. That had really good timing. But like, there were definitely little blips of like bad, borderline goofy CGI, as there is in more or less every blockbuster. But the difference is they've had an extra year on this, and Marvel decided to go back and fucking edit the end credits scene in WandaVision. Yeah, and I'm just like, that's what you're doing in this time? You've had this sat on the shelf for a year, and you didn't think we could probably get rid of this little bit here and there?
There were quite a few funky, like, rubber people.
Yeah, just rubber people, just rubbering about, rubber banding, like... It's hard to give examples, because it's often like a second or a split second or something like that, but just, if you've seen this movie and you at all, think in the realm of like, just being cynical about CGI, really, being pissy, like us, then you'll notice it.
I think it's noticeable even to just, like, the regular person. Because, usually the more you notice it's because it's on, like, a high-definition screen. Like, the higher resolution you watch, the more noticeable this kind of stuff is.
Yeah, watch this at home on your laptop. You'll be fine.
Well, even still, I was watching it, basically. Like, I hooked my laptop into my TV in my bedroom. It's not, like, a big TV. It's pretty, just...
It's average. It's above average, okay.
He packs enough. He's got enough. But, like, I noticed him.
I have no complaints.
No one's ever complained. It's how you use it.
It gets the job done.
He's doing his best. But I noticed it, and like it's not even that great of a TV. And at first I was like, first scene. But it kept happening too. It wasn't just one scene or one segment. It was throughout the movie.
Yeah, I think ultimately they work on so many of these at once. Like, I don't know how much the team overlaps. Like, the special effects team overlaps from Marvel movie to Marvel movie. I mean, there's always, like, generally, like, Lucasfilm or Skywalker Ranch or, like, Weta or so, there's always kind of similar logos coming up at the end in the credits, credited for special effects and stuff like that. It's always, like, the same kind of usual suspects. So maybe it is just a case of there's just so many of them. There's just so many movies. And some things just have to be let go. One
bit that really got me, a joke that it's not even a joke, it's just a funny thing that I saw that I liked. When they're all sitting around the table and the mother is showing them, like, the mind-controlled pigs.
Yeah.
And one of them comes in and his name's Alexei, named after the Red Guardian, of course. Which, that by itself is pretty funny, but I had the captions on when watching this. Because I didn't want my mom to know I was awake late at night. And that's not true, but it could be. But there's a moment where the pig grunts, and the credits said, Pig Alexei grunts. I found it funny that they referred to it as Pig Alexei.
Pig Alexei.
I think, like you said earlier, I think a lot of the performances are really good in this.
I even like that guy. That guy who provides the equipment and the houses and stuff like that. He wasn't in it much. Probably said about 10 words, but like, I enjoyed him.
Did you enjoy the story of this film? Like
I did, and I liked that. It was about something. It was kind of pretty thinly veiled, but it was about abuse and about dealing with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's. I mean, no one's going to a big Disney blockbuster for subtle political nuance.
Yeah.
But just, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily like sanitized away or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That it was quite clearly about what it was about.
I ask because I'm interested in what people say about this, because I think there's two different real stories going on here, and the one that a lot of people are liking is that it's a lot of the. I think it's. Am I mistaken? It's a lot of the more familiar stuff. It's a lot more talking about like the relationship between like Black Widow and her kind of family, her pseudo family, the closest thing she has to one. And then there's the plot of like them hunting the Red Room and them trying to blow it up. I didn't enjoy any of the Red Room blow up stuff. I just didn't really care about them blowing up this room.
Yeah, I was on board with it. I like a big space station or a big station in the sky. You know, it was very, very Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, very kind of, you know, I don't know. It was good fun.
Yeah, like it works. Like I'm not against it. I'm not offended by them doing that. I don't know if I was that engrossed in it, because it just felt like, yeah, they gotta find a thing and they gotta blow it up and they gotta stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you: did you know who Taskmaster was going to be? Did you guess the Taskmaster reveal?
No, I did not. And in fact, I was trying to guess the whole movie. I was like, oh.
So was I. I was trying to guess it. I just assumed, because more or less most people did when the marketing for this came out, the first time around, that it was going to be Rachel Weisz or Weisz, however you say that, Rachel Weisz.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be her as the as Taskmaster. I thought it, they kind of they bulk out the armor and stuff like that, and even in the film they refer to Taskmaster as a man.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, very clever of you, but I'm not falling for that. It's going to be Rachel Weisz. It's going to be the estranged mother figure. But I won't fall for that. I've ruined this experience for myself by looking at the internet, as I so often do. And then it wasn't her. Well, it became increasingly likely that it was not her, and then it just was not her. And I was like, oh shit. Well, now I don't know who it is. And yeah,
I was so confident in my guess.
Yeah, I was so confident. I was so arrogant. And yeah, and so it surprised me, and I enjoyed that.
I thought this is gonna sound crazy, but I kind of thought it would be a Black Widow clone. I thought they're gonna do some weird shit where they.
Do you know what? When it became apparent they were gonna take off the helmet and reveal who it was, I thought it was gonna be a Black Widow clone. I thought we were gonna see like a weird, paler, scruffier looking ScarJo underneath the helmet and being like,
how many pale versions of superheroes are they gonna do? We have pale Vision. You got a pale Widow. Oh, they would call her White Widow. Oh, how good. How good.
Well, yeah, but they could call Black Widow that if she wears the snow outfit.
No, she's Black Widow, but in a white outfit. You don't call it White Batman when he's wearing a snow outfit.
I do, every time. I go, there's White Batman.
Yeah.
No, if he dressed up as a different animal, I'd be like, that's Dogman or whatever.
No, you'd say that's Dog Batman. You idiot.
No, I'd say that's Dogman.
You just don't know anything about
He's dressed like a dog.
You just don't care about Batman, so,
I love Batman.
Well, I love him more.
Less so since that whole thing about him not going down on people. But, he's
let him eat.
He's still good. I don't know.
Out. Batman's. I mean, he probably is a selfish lover, but I don't like that being canon. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Better.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah, I know I'm right. But I also thought when they took off her face, because they did a Mission Impossible face swap.
Yeah, they brought back that face net thing.
Yeah,
they use it so sparingly you forget that technology exists in there. They save it for just the hard, gritty spy ones. Like Thor's not using that shit, is he?
How useful would it be in so many situations?
I know.
Like there's so many times that like anyone could use it, it would solve so many problems.
Yeah, I feel like if you were to really go through and nitpick all of the MCU and see where you could apply that, you could probably think of like 100 ways to like, or 100 scenarios where they could have gotten out of something much easier with that. I don't know. But it's fine.
No, you're right.
I enjoy it. It makes sense here. It worked.
I thought though when they did that, I was like, oh, so she's actually a clone. Like I kept hanging on to this idea of them cloning Black Widow. Like oh, so that's her clone, and the real one's in there, or the clone's in there. Nah, it's just a face swap. And I'm glad they didn't do like a weird we cloned Black Widow thing. Cause I'm glad that she's just dead. Like it's over. We're not gonna do some weird we're bringing her back thing.
Yeah. Did you think they were gonna do a face off situation with Yelena and Natasha? Did you think that maybe it was going to be revealed that Yelena was the one who died in Infinity War because they did a face off and that Natasha's still alive?
That would be ultimately. I thought about it for a second. I was like, no, that'd be stupid. Like, why? Like, you're basically introducing the character to be like, anyways, so she actually went off to space with
What a good way to both undermine a character's death and also just sort of ship off a new character before they've even had a chance to be good. No, but I prefer it this way. I prefer the idea that Yelena is still out there in this world. Mm-hmm. She's gonna come face to face with. Oh yeah, spoiler for the end credits as well, in case anyone didn't stay for that. She's gonna come face to face with Hawkeye in the Hawkeye series, and presumably join the Avengers in some capacity.
See,
she's going to be the new Black Widow.
I don't think she's going to. I think it's going to be like a Dark Avengers thing or a Thunderbolts thing.
Yeah.
Because they have White Vision, they have the other Captain America guy from Falcon Winter Soldier. They have her. Like they're kind of slowly building, I think, a Dark Avengers. I
think that because she's going to fight Clint.
Yeah.
And that's how Natasha ended up on. In S.H.I.E.L.D. and then later the Avengers, because she, I guess, came up against Hawkeye. Wait, is that how that happened, or did she, was it unrelated and that's just someone she encountered when she joined S.H.I.E.L.D.? I feel like they came up against each other, because there are arrows in that apartment wall.
Yeah, because I think Black Widow's hanging out in that apartment, years and years ago. Hawkeye was sent to kill her.
Yeah.
He did some arrows, and...
Yeah, they clashed, and Hawkeye was like, but did you ever consider being on S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever? Being one of the good guys?
Have you thought of the Avengers Initiative? They let me in. Don't let anyone in.
How about you do crimes and espionage for the good old US of A?
You can still do what you do, but for the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that's what he said. And she was like, yeah, sure.
Okay, here's a question for you. How long is Florence Pugh going to use the Russian accent for? How many more movies? How many more appearances? Because I think she's going to drop it.
I think she could have dropped it as early as when she's in the Hawkeye show, to be honest.
I think so, too. I think she's going to drop it very soon. Because that happened to Scarlet Witch, and I think they're going to do it again.
Yeah. If Scarlet Witch, it was quite gradual. They eased it out a little bit. But, I don't know. Because, she's a spy and she can, she's so trained for espionage and, skulking about and whatever, blending in. I feel like they'll just be like, she speaks with an American accent at first as an undercover thing and just keeps it going.
Here's another question for you. When that end credits scene ends and she's talking to her, she's like, ooh, here's the guy that killed your sister. And she hands him a photo. She's going to say, Oh, Hawkeye. Her next question's going to be, how did he kill her?
Yeah.
And what is she going to say?
It's not like he's not equally as famous as Black Widow or anything like that. It's not like he is not a public figure.
What is she going to say? They went to space, and he pushed her off a cliff to save the universe.
No, I don't know. I guess you just show some footage of him when he was Ronin, going about killing people and being like, yeah, you went rogue and he killed your sister, or whatever, because he went rogue.
She sounded unsure when she said, she's like, he was Ronin.
Yeah, he was calling himself Ronin, and he was roguing about. He
had a haircut. No one liked it.
He looked real silly. Look at this picture of him. Look at the back of it. It's not just a mohawk. There's a whole other mohawk on the back of his head.
I just want to look it up. I'm just looking at it because it's one of those images that never fails to make me laugh. Just from looking at it.
What was the point of that? Like, there's no way that's from the comics. There's no way. And also, there's no way that was just what Jeremy Renner was looking like at the time they shot that movie.
Like, I zoomed in and it's funny.
Who was in charge of that decision?
Oh my god. Like, it doesn't work. It's like, there's this picture of it when it's wet. Like, when he's in Japan and it's raining.
Yeah.
And it's all wet and it's just, like, on top. Like, it just...
Like, it's just fucking crawled up there and died on him. The largest sewer rat you've ever seen, just like... Bleh. Anyway,
oh god.
Back on tangent.
So here's another question for you about Red Guardian, who was a really good performance in this film. He's a really fun character.
Yeah, I liked him.
I want to see more of him. Do you think he actually fought Captain America?
He probably fought someone who was using the mantle of Captain America.
Okay, so do you think he fought, like, Isaiah Bradley or, like, another government, like, enhanced person that they tried to pass as a Captain America, or...
Yeah, maybe he was, I want to say... There's a name in my head from the comics, but now that I think about it, he was Bucky and not Captain America. Jack Monroe, who was later Scourge in my favourite series, The Thunderbolts.
I thought the real reveal was going to be that it wasn't Captain America. It was just some random fella at the Soviet Union dressed up as Captain America and just had him beat the shit out of him.
What, for like a propaganda thing?
Yeah, for like propaganda. But they just never told him.
Yeah, but they also didn't release it then, did they?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, otherwise it would be public knowledge that Russian superhero Red Guardian absolutely kicked shit out of Captain America, who, by the way, is alive in the 80s.
Here's what happened. I think this is what happened, right? The Soviet Union's like, we want to show that our guy's the best. So we're going to make a fake Captain America, we're going to have him beat him up, and release it to the public. But they pitched it to the public as, this is real footage, guys. We actually have footage of this going on. And they just didn't tell Red Guardian, and they didn't tell the public that it was fake. But those prisoners who are like, yeah, that guy was in ice still. They're just calling him out because Russian people at the time would have been like, isn't he gone? Isn't he frozen in ice? And Red Guardian would have been like, no, it's real. It happened. I beat him up. I did it. We fought each other. That was great. That's my thought. And they just never told him. And I thought the reveal in the movie was going to be, at some point he learns that it's fake, and he realizes that his whole, like, identity and his whole mythos...
That would have been a lot to put in this movie.
...was all fake, and he would have just had this moment where he's like, I'm not even Red Guardian. I'm not even the guy who fought Captain America. But then he would be like, you know what, though? You know who I am? The guy who raised two good girls. I'm a... What?
Red Guardian. It'd still be Red Guardian, because it's not like... Yeah. It's not like it's public knowledge that Red Guardian fought Captain America, or that Red Guardian is this big-time superhero or whatever. I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess in Russia he was a big deal, but I don't know. See, it seems like, while it might have been a highlight in his mind, in his view of his career, I don't think it would have been the defining thing.
I don't know, because he keeps mentioning it. Like, he's like, did Captain America mention me? Is he talking about me? I like to think it was propaganda, or it would be fun if it was another super soldier. I don't like to think that he's lying. I like to think he actually did fight someone, whether it was another super soldier, a fake fella, some guy pretending to be Captain America, or something.
I think it was a discount Captain America. I think it was like just someone else under the mantle.
I do think whatever it is. I think it'd be fun, because I like to think that he's not just lying. There's some truth to what he's saying.
Yeah.
There's some, like, I guess that's all he has, really. This is all he has. He's the Red Guardian. Without this, he probably would be a sad man. Do you I forgot what I was going to say. Something. Do I have any other notes, really?
Ray Winston's Russian accent.
Oh, yeah, Ray Winston.
Definitively a lot worse than any of the CGI blips or anything like that.
Do you think it was that bad? Do you think it's any worse than anyone else in this movie?
It's definitely the worst Russian accent in the movie, but it more falls down in the long scene.
Yeah.
Specifically that final kind of confrontation between him and Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his Cockney accent just keeps coming out. It just... Like, he really wants to be Russian, but unfortunately he's just Beowulf, you know?
Yeah. I think some of the Russian... I would love to talk to a Russian about the accents in this movie. Like, get their gauge. I'm like, is this good? Is this bad? What are these like? What's going on here? I don't know if I loved any of the action set pieces in this movie. Like, they're all fun, but none of them really stood out to me, you know? I mean, floating base was fun. Like, it's all fun. None of it's bad. I'm not saying it's boring, but I don't know if I'll remember any of them.
That bit where they're escaping on a big pipe and one of the other Black Widows, still under the influence, jumps on the pipe and she falls off and just fucking brutally dies in a puddle with a leg all twisted like a Family Guy character. You know when anyone in Family Guy falls down the stairs or falls over? Just like right there, just like askew. Just, yeah, arm behind the back, leg like crooked. Just Peter Griffin on the floor. Just, yeah. That was, it was brutal.
I'm thinking now, I watched this last night and I really don't know if I could think of any of them that were like, oh, that bit was so cool, or when they did this or that. It was all just like, yeah, it's good. Look at them, they're on motorcycles now. They're doing a bit of a chasey. I mean, I think I like the prison break thing. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. But we saw a lot of that in the trailer.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't watch any of the trailers of this movie.
How could you avoid them?
I think I watched the first one and that was it. Mostly just because I was like, yeah, I'm going to see it. Like, I'm not going to not watch it.
Going back to the Taskmaster thing. So how much do you know about Taskmaster from the comics?
I know he can, like, replicate anyone's powers just by, like, looking at them. He's pretty good at stuff. That's it, really. Well, like, I know he's in the Deadpool game, but I never played that.
Yeah, and he's in the Spider-Man game as well.
Oh yeah, he's in the PS4 one.
Yeah, so like he doesn't necessarily replicate people's powers. Like if they have like a proper power, he can't do that. Like he can't look at Cyclops and go, I can just shoot this out of my eye now. Like
right.
Like he's more kind of like he's at that kind of Captain America level where he's like peak physical fit. I'm not an expert on this guy, but like to my knowledge, he seems like he's in quotation marks regular person at peak physical condition quotation marks. But he's got this memory thing, and as far as I know, I didn't think it was from technology, but it might have been. Where just he can replicate anyone's moves or skills. So if someone throws a shield real good, he can throw a shield real good. If someone does a flip, he can do the flip. He can pick up skills and whatever. Like if you play the piano in front of him real good, he can then play the piano real good. That kind of thing. Like he doesn't need to learn it slowly.
It is pretty funny that they're just like having him watch footage from Civil War, like the actual movie.
Yeah, that always feels really fucking cheap to me because it's like there were no cameras in that particular. Like one of the scenes is like directly above the fucking action. Like two characters are fighting, and the camera is just in the air, filming them, and I'm like. And kind of low to the ground also, like it's only just above them, like just wide enough, far enough away that it can fit them both in the frame, and that's it. And I'm like, obviously no one could have filmed this in the context of that universe, and I just think that's a bit cheap. I give Loki a pass because Loki's like, when they play all of Tom Hiddleston's scenes in the MCU. Just in a row in front of him, and it's all from like camera angles, perspectives and stuff like that. It's all from the movie. I let that go because it's from time. It's from like, you know.
Yeah. It's more egregious when it's like security footage or like it's like, oh, we're watching
this security footage shows that this happened, and it's like that's a close up on someone's face, and then it changes shot. Like
that's not what happened.
Yeah, it's just like how can anyone have been there to film this without being noticed? Yeah, but I don't know. Usually the character of Taskmaster's got like more personalities, more kind of fun, and not just like the Stig from Top Gear, but like does kung fu instead of driving.
That's a reference I did not expect.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a big show over here, or it was. I think that's everything. There are fireworks going off near me, so I'm gonna assume that England won the footballs. What?
Kyle, I said no girls allowed on the podcast. Do I hear a girl in the... No girls allowed. Get out of here.
Okay, yeah. This just in case you're listening to this when this episode comes out in, you know, sometime in the next week. I can now confirm the England team lost whatever football game they were playing. Soccer for anyone in those heathen countries such as yours, Blake.
Oh my god, Jesus.
I'm so indifferent about football in almost every way, except when someone calls it something other than football. So let's get back on tangent and maybe even move on to our next segment.
Oh yes, I think I think overall though I had a pretty alright time with the film. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if I'll ever go back to it, but I do like that it sets up some new characters, some new stuff, and I think it's alright. I'm glad just to have more Marvel movies coming out again. Feels like we're back to normal, Kyle. We don't have to.
The world is healing.
Yeah,
it feels like we're getting back on course with Marvel movies in cinemas, birds in the trees. You know, the water's blue again. Just everything might be all right. No, yeah, I enjoyed it. I probably won't go back to it, but that's just because I hardly ever go back to any movies without a good decade of time or so in between.
I agree. All right, Kyle. I think it's time for the next and the best segment of the show.
We save it for last because, well, quite frankly, it'd be weird if it was at the start. But also, we saved the best for last.
I think it's time for...
Watch this!
Or else.
All so right, dramatic.
So good. So
and yet so cheap. One day I will do a sting or something for this. I will do like some kind of intro or something, and we'll just use that. But it won't be today.
I will not do it.
Cool. Anyway, yeah. I've got my thing in mind. Do you want to go first, or do you want to explain what the segment is first?
Oh, yes, of course. So this is a segment of the show, everybody, where Kyle and I will both recommend or anti-recommend.
You know, it can happen.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. And yeah, so we each get 30 seconds of the clock. I'm sorry, my shower just turned on and it frightened me. And we each get 30 seconds on the clock. We go back and forth twice, and then we decide who wins. We definitively decide who wins this. Yeah.
Yep. We just throw two pieces of media at each other, whether they're from the same medium or not. Just we compare them and we give them all of 30 very inarticulate, very unprepared seconds for your approval.
Or real life things. Sometimes it's just things in real life, but you know, who knows?
The feeling of finally quenching that thirst you've had all day.
It's like a good glass of high C. Good for you. Drink more. All right, Kyle, why don't you take the reins on this one? Go ahead and start us off.
All right, then. I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1. So, I've been playing Destroy All Humans Remastered on Steam. It recently went on sale. It was a game that it was from my childhood when I still felt human joy. And let me tell you, it's still real good. I remember almost nothing about this one and confuse it with parts from the even better second one. So playing through it feels like simultaneously a new and old experience. It's great. Everyone give it a play on Steam. Can't beat nostalgia.
Well, that was a good recommend, Kyle. It's better than most of your crap things you often say.
Certainly was.
I'm actually looking it up on Steam right now. Destroy All Humans.
It's real good.
Let's see. It's $30.
It was I bought it on sale.
Oh yeah, the Steam sale just happened.
Yeah.
I should have gotten it there. Well, speaking of games on sale on Steam, I also want to recommend a game I bought on the Steam sale today. Yeah, so we got a double video game recommendation.
What is this, a gaming podcast?
Oh, I'm a hashtag gamer, Kyle. I have a laptop that plays games poorly. Today, I want to I hate women.
The full package. Anyway, I'll let you do your 30 seconds.
Oh, yes, let me pull up my timer. 3, 2, 1. Okay, today I want to talk about Titanfall 2 on Steam. Titanfall 2 is a really, really fun FPS game. It's got big robots, you can run on walls, you got a grappling hook, it's real good, it's got a great story to it. It was on sale on Steam last week for like $5 or $6. Definitely worth that. Easily worth that, man. And if it's like $20 now, it's still worth it. It's a really good game. It's got some good stuff all around, and it's a lot better than Kyle's thing because it's got robots that are big, like big boobs. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know where you were going with that.
I don't know where that. I'm out to win, Kyle.
Unlikely.
Oh.
Anyway, starting in 3, 2, 1. Well, my game also has big robots. In the game, sometimes you come up against enemies in big fucking mech suits. It's hard. But another thing, my game has great tactile control. Probably even better than Titanfall 2, I'll say. Having never played it. You get a cool jetpack to fly around on, and you get to pick people up with your mind and just shock them against a fucking wall and kill them. It's great, and it's the best way to kill anything in that game.
All right.
It's genuinely so fun to just.
It is pretty
to
fun.
Just shock a whole human being against a fucking convenience store because they dared notice that you were an alien.
Well, I think that was a pretty good counter argument, but I got an even better counter argument. You bitch.
Let's hear it, you rude man.
I got this. Okay, so right now on Steam, Titanfall 2 currently has 66,683 overwhelmingly positive reviews. Destroyer of Humans has 5,185 reviews and is only very positive. So I think the people have already decided which is a better game, Kyle. They're both $30 right now. So I say spend your $30 on a game that's overwhelmingly positive according to 60,000 people.
I'd just like to add the remastered version of Destroy All Humans has only recently become available on sale. So
well, you know what?
There isn't even the old versions of Destroy All Humans on Steam, to my knowledge.
Really? Well, wow,
yeah.
What's going on?
I think they were just never ported over.
That's...
The second one might even be in the works for remastering.
That'd be
rumors.
Fun.
I will be
But
buying
anyways,
it.
my thing better. So yeah, everybody, if you agree with Blake, which is me, and you got opinions if you think the Titanfall 2 is better, let us know. If you think Destroy All Humans is better, shut your fucking face.
No, let us know.
If you think it's good, then yeah. Thank you everybody though for listening. Black Widow, tell us your thoughts as well. We thought it was both pretty fine, I guess.
How do you feel about Hawkeye's haircut? It's a controversial issue. In that literally no one enjoys it. Or they never noticed.
You know how like some people have that phrase or those things that just can't make them stop laughing?
Yeah.
Mine is Hawkeye's haircut because it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's one of those things you just constant source of joy.
It's not even joy, it's just so fucking stupid. Oh god.
Well, we'll never live up to the kind of entertainment value you can get from just looking at a stupid picture of Jeremy Renner's stupid head. So with that, I think we should bring this to a close.
Yes, of course.
Put him in the thumbnail.
Kyle, why don't you tell the good people where they can Gmail and twat us?
Well, you can Gmail us at backontangentpod@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's the one. And
Yes.
The other one doesn't have pod on the end. That's at backontangent@twitter.com. You know?
Twat
I
us
said
and
that
let
like
us
an
know.
email, but you know
Yeah.
how Twitter works. Just type
You
at backontangent, and that'll be it. It'll come up probably.
Y'all get it. Y'all know what's going on.
You're all cool and hip and with it.
So yeah, that's been Back on Tangent. Watches Black Widow.
Like
And,
Widow, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We all appreciate it. Hope you all have a. I mean, I don't care what kind of date. I don't care about you. And
As long as the time you spent listening to this dribble was enjoyable. That's all we care about.
Next week maybe nothing. I don't think anything's out. Is Loki finishing up?
Oh yeah, Loki finishes this week.
Yeah. So I guess Loki next week then. I think that's the game plan. The week after that, we're doing Kung Pao Enter the Fist, which is a great film, despite what the critics say. It's a fantastic film. It's very funny, very good. I'm gonna make Kyle watch it.
Oh boy.
He has no idea what this movie is. I love it. Thank you, everybody, though, and see you all in the next one. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Okay, Kyle, now that they're all gone, I just want you to know that I think all the listeners are idiots. I can't stand them. Yeah, I can't stand them. I honestly, I tell them to do all these things and they never do them. I just can't fucking stand it anymore. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Yeah. That's okay. I'll just leave my bit in.